Hi and welcome back. So what we want to do, we want to be able to create the details part. So when you click on the food item, it gives you the details of the user. So we are going to create an activity. So we'll right click and we'll say right click, then we create a new. So right click, then we create a new activity. So this activity, we are going to have an empty activity. So for this activity, we are going to call this activity food details. So it's going to hold for us the details. So you can call this activity food details. Activity food details, then we can click on finish and wait for this to load. So we click on finish and wait for it now to load. So we'll do that. So once we have the food details set up well, we are now going to go to our activity food details, and here we are going to paste the image, the text, and the items that we want them to view. So what we'll do, we'll just put our first item. So we put the image. So we'll place our image. We can choose any image that we have so far. So we can place that image. Then for the image, you're going to give it a width and a length before you constrain it. So you can give it a height of 117 so that it's a bit small. Then the height of the image, we can give it at 124. So you can give it at 124. So we give it in terms of dp. Also this we give it in terms of dp. So you can say 117 dp. So we have that as our image and it has held for us. So you can try and just place it at the center. So once we have that, we can now give the ID. So you can come and give our ID. So the ID that you're going to use, is going to be, you can say IV, then we say food image views. So we can just footer the ID there. So we have that. So once the image is completely well placed, we're going to place the next item. So the next item is going to be our text view. So for our image, we ensure that you constrain it to all the sides. Then some of the properties you can give it is ID, which is IV food image, the width and the length. So the rest are just constraints, and you attach the image. So ensure you have your image view placed correctly. So secondly, we are going to place our text view. So for the text view, you're just going to drag and drop the text view there. So once we drag and drop our text view, we are going to attach it to the sides. So you attach your text view to the sides. So we attach that to the side, attach that to the side, attach that to the top, then we can attach it to the bottom. Then we can now place this text view just right almost next to the details. So we are going to give this value. So for this text view, we're just going to call it TV. Then we can say name. So TV name. So you have the ID that you've given it as TV name. Then we can now maybe go to our code and add a few items into our text view. So we have our text view as TV name. We can decide to give it a text size, so we can just come here and call our text size. So we call our text size, and then the text size we can give it a 24 SP, so we can see if that's a bit visible for us. Yeah, that's quite good visibility. Then you can decide to give the text text color, so you can say maybe text style. You can decide to give it bold, and then we can decide to give it a text color. Then we can say color that is there, we can say maybe primary dark, so that the text is a bit blue and it's different from the rest. So you can see that your text is just right there. Then let's ensure it's at the center. So we can say you can come in and we can call our gravity. So we can just say gravity, then we'll say center. So we've added text size, style, and gravity. So with that, we'll have everything placed well there. So that is where the text view is going to be. Then the last thing we want is the description for the text. So you're going to do a text view, then we place down the text view there. Then we're going to first constrain it to our side. So we constrain that to the side. We can constrain it to the side there, constrain this to the bottom, and then you can constrain this to this top, just right there. Then we can just move this a bit up. Yes, and then we have it just right there. So we have that, our text view there. Then now we can give it a few IDs and description. So we can call our first ID. So our ID, we can just give it text view, then we say details. So we call our ID and we say the ID is going to be TV details. Then now we can go to the text view, and we can create a few things here. So we can also ensure that now we have, so you can say maybe text size, you can put it a bit, maybe at we can say maybe 80, or we can use maybe 19 SP, because it's going to be quite a long description. So you can see it's a bit bigger but not too big. You can decide to give it text color, so you can give it some similar color to the top. So you can say maybe text color, we can say let's give it primary dark. So our text color there is primary dark. Then now we ensure that our text is at the center, so we can come in and say gravity to be at the center. But then also we want it to at least occupy the whole screen here. So for this text, so for this we can just come in and say let this be match parent. So we just come to our text width, so that instead of wrap content we just put it at match parent. So you can see it will be occupy most of the screen. So that's our text view that's going to hold for us the details of our text. So that's the most important thing that you're going to place inside the layout. And we are going now to have our image view for food image, TV name, and details. So the next thing is now we are going to go to our main activity, and in our main activity we are just going to do a simple on-click listener, so that when you click on the image we create an intent that moves you from one activity to the other. So we are going to move from this activity to the food details activity. So we'll simply just come and say, so we have our food view. So we call our food view just below the food view, where let me show you where it is. So it's inside the get view function. So in the get view, just below where we had called our image, we are going to set an on-click listener on this image. So you will just say food view dot, then we will say IV food image, then we set an on-click listener, then we'll say set on-click listener. So once we set an on-click listener, so inside the listener, this is where we are going to place what we need. So we are going to set an on-click listener, then we are going to create an int that when you click on the image, we want it to move you from this activity to the food details activity. So we'll just come and say val, then we can call val intent, then we can say equals to, then we'll say equals to intent. So val intent equals to intent, then we move from intent, so we move from what? We move from context, and we want to move to which activity? We want to move to food details. So we want to move from this activity to food details, which is going to be a class.java. So we want to move from this activity to the food details activity. And then now I hope you remember how we did, how if you want to carry values from one place to another, we want to carry the what we had added. We want to carry the food name, the description, and the image. So we are going to use put extra to carry the food name, the food image, and the food description. So we are going to say now this intent we want it to, so we'll say intent dot put extra. So we say intent dot put extra, then we want to move with what? We want to have the key. So the key, we have the name, and where do we want to, what do we want to move with? We want to move with food dot name, then we make it nullable. Then we can say also we want to move with the image, so we'll say put extra. We want to move with the description, so we move with description. Then we'll say food dot, then we move with the description and we make it nullable as well. And lastly, we also want to move with the image, so we'll say intent dot put extra. So we say image dot put extra. Then we want to move with what? We want to move with the image, and then we'll say food dot, then we'll say image. So we have that, and we make it nullable as well. So you have your name, we've moved with our name, our description, and our image. Then now we can now start the activity. So it will be context dot, so we'll do our context, make it nullable, then dot, then we'll say start activity. Then we move with our intent. So we move from the main activity main.xml, and we want to move to the food details activity. So that's it. So this is what, when you click, we want to move from this to this, then we carry these values. So once we are able to carry the values, we can now go to our food details and pick the values that we have used to carry. So we are going to pick them as a bundle, so it will be simple. So we'll say val, then we'll say bundle. So we pick that val bundle, then we'll say equals to intent dot extras. So we pick our extras from the other activity. Then we'll say now we want now to set. So for example here, we want to set the image using IV food image, set the name IV TV name, then you use TV details to set the details. So you can come and now say IV food image, then we'll say dot set image resource. Then what do we use? We just use our bundle. So we'll say bundle, then we make it nullable. So you use a bundle, make it nullable, then you'll say dot, then we do get int because it's an image, and then we use what? The key that we have picked, we created here in our main activity. So if it's image, the key is image. So we have that. Then for the details, we can just say TV. So we can say details, then we can say dot text, set text. So we can just say dot text, then we can say we want to carry the bundle, then we'll say dot, make it nullable, dot get string. Then what do we pass? We pass the key. What do we pass? For details, it's going to be this. That was it. And then lastly, for the name, it's going to be TV dot name, and then we can say dot text. And then what do we want to pass? We do bundle, then we'll say it's nullable dot get string. So we get string, and then what do we pass? We pass a key. Then we can say we want to pass the name. So we pass the image, the details, and the names as we have listed. So we have that correctly. So now our activity is set, and you can now execute this and see what result it gives us. So you can try execute the recipe, ensure that now when you try loading, you just click on the image. When you click on the image, it should be able to take you to the other page. I hope that is clear and okay. So let's try this and send in our screenshots for assignment approval. So thank you, and I'll see you in our next project. Bye.